There's an ancient quiet inside you, a silence that somehow speaks louder than all the noise around you. You feel it every time you step into a crowded room. The air grows heavy, conversations sound distant, and a subtle ache rises in your chest as if your soul is searching for pure oxygen in a place thick with smoke. Others laugh and mingle effortlessly, but you sense something they cannot feel. It is not simple shyness. It is not mere discomfort. It is the unmistakable signal that you were never meant to blend in. For years, you may have tried to explain it away. Maybe you told yourself you were just introverted, that you needed more rest, that you simply preferred solitude. But the truth runs far deeper. That tension you feel, that instinct to withdraw, is not weakness. It is a calling. Every moment you have chosen silence over noise has been a hidden rehearsal for a mission only you can fulfill. The Creator himself wrote this code into your being long before you drew your first breath. Some are born to walk among the many. Others are marked to awaken among the few. Those who are marked carry signs. Some are visible, like the mysterious letter M traced into the lines of a palm, or the subtle crescent moon hidden in the folds of the skin. Others are invisible, like a heightened sensitivity that discerns truth before a single word is spoken, or a quiet knowing that your life was never meant to follow the ordinary path. Perhaps, since childhood, you have felt it, a pull away from the crowd, a whisper that you were being saved for something you could not yet name. While others chased belonging, you chased meaning. While most ran to be seen, you stepped back to see more clearly. This was never rejection, it was preparation. Heaven has been shaping you in silence so that when the time came, your soul would recognize the mission for which you were born. And now, chosen one, that moment has arrived. The fact that you are hearing these words is not coincidence. It is confirmation. If your heart is beating faster, if a deep recognition stirs inside you, stop and honor it. Type the number 111 in the comments right now. In the language of the Spirit, 111 is the symbol of alignment and the beginning of your divine assignment. By writing it, you declare to yourself and to the universe, I am ready to remember who I am. If you have not yet subscribed, do it now. This channel is not merely a collection of videos. It is a gathering place for those set apart, a map for souls marked by heaven. By subscribing, you step into a circle of others who, like you, carry invisible signs and sacred missions. Take a deep breath and let this truth settle in your heart. Because what comes next will explain why your spirit tightens in busy places, why silence has always felt like safety, and why your destiny can only unfold away from the clamor of the many. The path you are about to discover is narrow, sacred, and unmistakably yours. From the earliest moments of your memory, a subtle distance has always been there, a quiet but undeniable sensation that you were somehow walking a path slightly offset from everyone else's. Even as a child, you may have noticed it, at birthday parties where the laughter felt too loud, at school when the group games stirred more unease than excitement, or in crowded markets when the air itself seemed too heavy to breathe. It wasn't that you disliked people or that you lacked affection. Something deeper was at work, a design older than your own understanding. This distance is not a flaw nor a punishment. It is a deliberate preparation. Long before you had a name, before you drew your first breath, the architecture of your life was drafted with precision. Some are shaped in the busy noise of constant interaction. Others are refined in the echoing halls of silence. You belong to the latter. Your solitude has never been an accident. It has always been a sacred strategy. Think of the countless times you tried to bridge that invisible gap. You joined conversations, followed the crowd, even forced a laugh when the room demanded it. Yet every attempt to belong left a faint ache behind, a quiet exhaustion, as though your spirit had spent too much energy trying to match a rhythm that was never truly yours. While others seemed to draw life from the crowd, you often returned home drained, needing the soft refuge of stillness to feel whole again. People around you might have offered easy explanations. You're shy, they said. You're just independent, others suggested. But you sensed that these labels missed the mark. The truth is far more intricate. There is a reason the Creator has kept a measured distance between you and the multitudes. Missions of great weight require voices that are not drowned out by the roar of the ordinary. To carry what you are meant to carry, you must first be trained to recognize the subtle language of the unseen, a language too delicate to survive the chaos of constant company. Consider the unexplained endings that dot your past. Friendships that faded without conflict, jobs or opportunities that dissolved at the very moment they seemed secure, relationships that simply could not hold. At the time, these losses may have felt like rejection, like doors slamming for no reason. Yet each one was a quiet act of protection. The unseen realm has been clearing your path, removing influences that might dilute the clarity of your mission before it fully unfolds. What looked like emptiness was actually the hidden scaffolding of your destiny. This separation has also been your teacher. In the long hours of solitude, your inner senses have sharpened. Without the constant feedback of the crowd, you have learned to hear the subtler sounds, the rise and fall of your own breath, the stirrings of intuition, the gentle nudge of inspiration. While others chase distraction to escape themselves, you have been quietly introduced to the vast world within. This inner world is where the true instructions for your life are whispered, directions that can be missed in the noise of endless chatter. Such preparation does not make you superior to others, but it does set you apart. It builds in you a resilience that is not hardened by pride but softened by insight. You are being trained to walk through places where guidance must come from beyond the senses, where a single misstep could alter the course of what you are meant to bring into the world. The crowd cannot teach you this. Only the quiet can. So when memories surface of nights you spent wondering why you felt alone even in a room full of people, understand them now in a new light. Those were not empty nights. They were classrooms. Every moment you thought was wasted in stillness was in fact a hidden lesson, a shaping of the inner ear that hears beyond ordinary sound. You have not been abandoned. You have been refined. And this refinement is not complete. It is ongoing, leading you deeper into the clarity required for what lies ahead. The narrow road you walk is not a corridor of loss. It is a passageway toward purpose. Every step away from the crowd is a step toward the strength and purity your mission demands. From the earliest days you can remember, there has been a subtle yet unshakable distance between you and the world around you. You may have tried to bridge it, laughing when others laughed, following when others led, stepping into places that promised belonging. But no matter how much you offered, there was always a quiet echo inside you, a whisper repeating, "This isn't where you fit." That whisper has never been condemnation. It has always been guidance. It is the signal of a life meant for more than simple comfort or easy approval. This sense of separation does not announce itself with grand drama. It shows up in ordinary moments. A gathering where the laughter feels thin, a conversation where the words fall heavy and hollow, a celebration that leaves you strangely tired instead of filled. While those around you merge effortlessly into the atmosphere, you find yourself observing from a slight remove, as if some part of you is standing just outside the room, reading the energy rather than losing yourself in it. You notice what others miss, the forced smile, the tension behind a casual remark, the faint flicker of sadness in someone's eyes. Your spirit registers these subtleties long before your mind gives them a name. This is not social discomfort. It is spiritual sensitivity. You're attuned to currents beneath the surface, and those currents rarely harmonize with the noise of the crowd. When dozens of hearts, intentions, and private battles collide in one space, you feel the collision. Their unrest brushes against your own energy like static electricity. What others dismiss as a bit of fatigue becomes, for you, a deep and sudden exhaustion, as though you have run a race you never agreed to join. The world may label this sensitivity as shyness or aloofness. Some might even call it arrogance, as if you believe you are above the ordinary. But the truth is the opposite. You are not withdrawing out of pride. You are protecting the clarity of your inner life. Your spirit is wired to guard the light it carries. Crowds, whether physical or emotional, can cloud that light, dimming the very sense of direction you need to fulfill your purpose. Notice how your body speaks when you ignore this inner wisdom. Perhaps it starts with a tightness in the chest, a subtle headache, or a sudden heaviness in your limbs. These are not random symptoms. They are signals. Your entire being is telling you that the atmosphere is misaligned, that you are absorbing more than you can safely hold. And when you finally listen, when you step outside, take a breath, or choose the quiet of your own company, you feel the weight begin to lift. This distance, though sometimes lonely, is not a flaw to be fixed, but a compass to be honored. It teaches you to separate appearance from essence, noise from meaning. It reminds you that you were never meant to dilute your presence to match the frequency of every room you enter. Instead, you are called to preserve the purity of your energy so it can be directed with precision when the right moment arrives. Over time, you will see how this silent distance sharpens your discernment. It keeps you from alliances that would drain your strength, from opportunities that glitter but lack substance, from paths that would lead you far from your true mission. What once felt like an unwanted barrier reveals itself as a shield, an invisible armor that ensures your heart remains whole while the world rushes by. So when you find yourself again on the edges of the crowd, sensing that familiar ache of separateness, remember, you are not being left out. You are being lifted out, set apart, so that you can remain true to the call that only you can hear. The distance is not emptiness, it is protection. And within that protection, the deepest guidance of your life quietly unfolds. There is a reason you sometimes leave a gathering feeling more drained than when you arrived, even if nothing dramatic happened. Crowds are not neutral. Every person carries an atmosphere, thoughts, emotions, unspoken stories. And when dozens of these currents collide, the energy becomes dense. For someone with heightened sensitivity, it's like standing in a storm of invisible signals. You register every flicker of tension, every hidden grief, every spark of anger that others never notice. Your spirit begins absorbing what is not yours, and the effect is unmistakable. A sudden heaviness in your chest, a dull ache behind your eyes, a fatigue that no amount of coffee or sleep can erase. This isn't weakness. It is discernment in action. Your inner compass is alerting you to a mismatch between your vibration and the energy of the space. When the atmosphere is heavy with unresolved pain or restless ambition, your soul senses the discord before your mind can explain it. That uneasy pull to leave, the way your body tenses without reason. These are quiet instructions from the deeper part of you. They are heaven's way of saying, protect what is sacred. Many try to override these signals, forcing themselves to stay for the sake of politeness or appearances. But the longer you ignore the warning, the louder it becomes. Your thoughts grow scattered, your patience thins, and your own clarity starts to blur. Crowds are not your enemy, but they are a test. They ask whether you will value external expectation over internal truth. Honoring that truth does not mean permanent isolation. It means moving with intention, choosing when and where to show up and when to step back to preserve the clarity that fuels your purpose. When you respect this rhythm, you discover a profound paradox. The more faithfully you guard your solitude, the more powerfully your presence speaks when you do enter the room. If these words echo what you have quietly felt for years, seal this recognition with a simple declaration. Type the word align in the comments right now. Let it be your way of saying to yourself and to the universe, I choose alignment over noise, clarity over crowds. That single word is more than a comment. It is a commitment to honor the guidance that has been protecting you all along. When the last echo of conversation fades and the doors of familiar places quietly close, a deeper invitation unfolds, one that only a few recognize and even fewer accept. This is the stage many fear the most, the long stretch of quiet where you seem to stand entirely alone. Yet what feels like emptiness is in fact the most fertile ground of your journey. Solitude is never punishment. It is preparation. It is the hidden forge where the heat of silence shapes you into something unshakable. At first, the stillness can feel like exile. You may glance at your phone and find no messages, look around and realize the faces that once filled your days have drifted away. The calendar that used to overflow with plans becomes a wide, open field. But in this open field, the noise finally settles, and the subtle language of your own spirit can be heard. It is a language impossible to decipher in constant company. Each quiet morning, each evening spent with only your thoughts, trains your ears to hear the gentle direction that has always been guiding you. In solitude, you begin to sense the difference between distraction and destiny. Without the constant buzz of others' opinions, you discover what you truly value. When familiar voices no longer drown out your inner compass, the deeper call of your life grows unmistakable. You start to see how every delay, every closed door, every unexpected detour was not a setback, but a form of protection. What once felt like rejection slowly reveals itself as alignment, a divine strategy to guard what is rare within you. This season peels away the layers of identity built for other people's approval. Masks you didn't even know you wore begin to crumble. Habits that once felt like survival mechanisms reveal themselves as obstacles. You release the need to be everywhere, to please everyone, to chase after noise that never satisfied you. You learn the strength of moving at a pace set not by urgency or fear, but by a quiet inner timing that refuses to be rushed. And though the silence may feel heavy, beneath it a sacred architecture is forming. Like a seed beneath soil, you cannot see the growth, but you can feel it. Your intuition sharpens. You become sensitive to the smallest cues, a sudden thought that leads you to the right conversation, a gentle nudge to wait when everything in you wants to run. Guidance stops arriving as thunder and lightning and comes instead as a calm certainty that cannot be explained, only trusted. Solitude also reveals the power of resilience. Without the buffer of constant affirmation, you learn to stand on the strength of what you know is true. The applause of others loses its grip. The criticism of others loses its sting. You stop chasing validation and begin to embody it. By the time this season completes its work, you carry a quiet authority that no crowd can give and no critic can take away. Here, even the rhythms of your body and mind recalibrate. Sleep deepens, thoughts clear, emotions settle like sediment at the bottom of clear water. You find that when you finally speak, your words carry unexpected weight, not because you tried to be powerful, but because silence has distilled your voice to its purest essence. Solitude is the proving ground of every soul marked for something greater. It is the sacred classroom where you learn to listen, to trust, and to move only when the still small voice says. Now, when you emerge, you do so lighter, clearer, and unshakably certain of the path that waits ahead. This is the paradox of being set apart. What the world calls emptiness is in truth the preparation for fullness, and what feels like isolation is in fact the embrace of something infinitely larger than any crowd. There is a rare strength that never announces itself with noise or spectacle. It does not boast of victories or parade credentials. It moves quietly, like a breeze through tall grass, and yet it shapes everything it touches. That strength is holy sensitivity, the ability to perceive beyond the surface, to feel the pulse of a room before a single word is spoken, to read the hidden language of hearts and atmospheres. For those set apart, this is not an optional talent. It is a defining mark of their calling, and it is both a breathtaking gift and a demanding burden. Perhaps you have known it since childhood. Long before you could explain it, you noticed the way silence could roar inside you when something was wrong. You sensed tension in the air before conflict erupted, felt the tremor in someone's voice when they said, "I'm fine," and knew instinctively when a smile hid sorrow. You might have been told you were too sensitive, too emotional, too easily affected by moods and surroundings. But what if that very too much was never a flaw, but a precise calibration, an inner instrument tuned to frequencies that most people will never hear? This sensitivity is heaven's early warning system planted in your soul. It is the quiet alarm that sounds before danger takes shape. It is the sudden weight in your chest when a conversation veers into deception, the subtle tightening in your spirit when an environment is unclean, the almost electric clarity that says, "Not this place, not this path." While others march forward unaware, you receive the nudge to pause, to watch, to wait. That is not anxiety. It is discernment. Your body often speaks before your mind understands. Maybe you've felt an inexplicable restlessness in a room full of laughter. Maybe you've walked into a gathering and sensed an invisible heaviness pressing down on you, as though the air itself carried a hidden storm. Perhaps you have met someone and without a single reason you could explain, your heart whispered caution. These moments are not random. They are divine guidance, signals from a realm that sees what human eyes cannot. Yet this sacred sensitivity carries a weight that only the chosen truly know. To feel deeply is also to carry more than your own emotions. You may find yourself drained after a day in crowds, as if you have run a race no one else can see. You might absorb the unspoken grief of a stranger, the silent anger of someone across the room, the subtle bitterness behind a polished smile. Your spirit, designed to read atmospheres, can soak up what it encounters unless you learn to guard it. This is why solitude is not a luxury for you. It is survival. Time alone is the cleansing of your spiritual senses. It is the quiet in which your inner instrument is retuned so it can continue to play pure notes. Without these retreats, your discernment dulls and your heart begins to carry burdens that were never meant for you. Heaven calls you aside not to isolate you in punishment, but to restore you in protection, ensuring that your light stays bright and your insight remains sharp. True sensitivity teaches you to filter every word, every influence, every invitation before allowing it into your inner world. It will not let you settle for appearances when the energy beneath them is false. Where others see nothing but charm, you feel the vibration of manipulation. Where others rush to accept an opportunity, you pause until you sense the quiet confirmation that says, yes, this is safe, this is right, and yes, there are days when you will wish you could turn this gift off. When the constant stream of impressions feels overwhelming, when the weight of unseen emotions feels heavier than your own. But remember this, the same sensitivity that pulls you away from harmful paths is the very key that guides you toward the opportunities heaven has prepared. It is your compass, your shield, your invisible armor. Honor this design. Protect it with silence when the world grows loud. Nourish it with prayer, meditation, and the kind of rest that reaches beyond the body into the soul. Because this gift, this holy sensitivity, is not a weakness to overcome. It is the unmistakable signature of a life meant to move with extraordinary precision through a world that rarely notices the unseen. Treat it as sacred, and it will lead you unfailingly through every shadowed valley into the light of your highest purpose. Chosen one, pause with me and allow the weight of this moment to settle over you like a warm, steady cloak. Every chapter of your life, the sleepless nights, the unanswered prayers, the strange pull away from the noise, has not been random. Each twist and turn has been a quiet training ground, a carefully woven preparation for the person you were always meant to become. What once felt like rejection was actually refinement. What once looked like isolation was sacred protection. Look back and see the unmistakable pattern. Doors that slammed shut without explanation were never punishments. Friendships that dissolved without warning were not failures. Even the seasons of silence, when it seemed heaven itself had turned its face away, were hidden invitations to listen more deeply. You were being drawn inward, taught to hear the faint whisper that only comes when the world grows quiet. That whisper is the language of purpose, and you have been learning it word by word. Through this journey, you have discovered that sensitivity is not weakness. It is your most reliable armor. It warns you when a room carries heavy energy, when a smile hides deception, when a path will drain your spirit before it drains your strength. You have learned that solitude is not exile, but a fortress where your discernment sharpens and your soul grows unshakable. And you now know that the narrow road is not a punishment, it is proof of your mission. The crowd moves toward comfort, the chosen move toward purpose. You were never designed to be swallowed by noise. You are called to carry clarity into it. So as you step forward, walk with quiet authority. Do not rush to fill the silence you once feared. Let it guide you. Do not chase every invitation that crosses your path. Test each one against the resonance of your spirit. Move lightly but with confidence, knowing that unseen guardians travel beside you. The same force that once separated you from the crowd now walks with you into every room, every conversation, every decision. The protection you once mistook for. Loneliness will remain a shield around your calling if these words stir something unmistakable within you. If you feel the deep confirmation that this message is for you, write the word "ready" in the comments right now. That single word is more than a response. It is a declaration to yourself and to the universe that you accept the journey ahead and embrace the strength already alive inside you. And if you have not yet subscribed, I invite you warmly to do so now. By subscribing, you join a quiet circle of listeners who, like you, are learning to walk with courage and clarity. Each new message will meet you where you are and help keep your path bright and your spirit strong. Thank you for sharing this time with me. May you continue forward in peace, carrying the quiet power of your calling and the light of your unique mission. Until we meet again, travel gently, trust the compass within, and remember, you are never truly alone. The path may be narrow, but it was carved precisely for your feet, and it leads exactly where you are destined to go.